Well, hey, everybody. So you guys all know me, and I'm here with my friend, somebody who's been taking classes with me for the last couple of years, who just stepped up in a big way, Miss Tania Maria. Hi.
Hi.
And I asked her if she would be okay coming on with me and allowing me to expose what she's choosing to you guys, because we're starting this new 30 Heads in 30 Days Mini Mind, which is this 30-day stimulator course. But Tanya jumped into a container with me that was like, from my point of view, way more advanced, and was just beginning, and has really used it to completely change where she's functioning from, what she's creating in the world. And now you're starting to have a business where before you really didn't have one. I mean, you had a little. So I think that's really inspiring, and that's why I wanted to talk to you today. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me in the first place.
So before you jumped into, we did the Thrival mastermind together, this 3-month thing. When you were looking at choosing that, what is it that you were aware of that you, your business, your life required?
Just before that, I asked myself 2 questions. What would it take for me to be willing to multiply my income with triple
By 3, triple your.
and what does it take for me to come out to show me to the public, to be visible, because I know what I want. Now I even know it more. And I was just bumping against the wall. Oh, I want this, I want that. But, what do I have to do to get the people know that I exist, that my service exists?
Yeah.
And I was in your money membership.
Yeah.
And then you chose a different form.
Yeah.
And you said, there are 2 possibilities, the mastermind or something else.
Yeah.
And from the moment I knew that you created the mastermind and I saw all the information about it, I just knew. And I had 3 days to
to create the money. And that part, watching you choose that and go through that was really inspiring. I mean, everything about what you've been choosing is really inspiring, because you really made a big demand of yourself and you got investors. You were like, whatever it takes, this is going to change.
And the difference was, before I would say, would you please give me some money or sponsor me, or because otherwise I can't attend it. Mm-hmm. And now it was, okay, what does it take for me to attend that class? And then I got the awareness information, you have to look for investors. And then that was a big step out of my comfort zone. And the first step to my question, how can I reach people? So that's what I meant earlier. Your creation of the mastermind did it all. Also, I followed the energy and I took the steps, but it was an answer from the first second. I had to create something to make myself visible. And the difference I wanted to talk about is, now I said to the people, Wednesday evening, I attend that class. Will you invest in me? And it's a total different demand.
So you've been being that energy since then with everything. And I know the last 3 months haven't been this smooth sailing, now everything's peachy sort of thing. It's like any journey. It's, you start choosing and then you get a lot of awareness and then you choose again. And then, we're all bumping around in it together and creating. So it's an organism. But I do recognize that for you, there's something fundamental has just changed. And do you get what I mean when I say that? Can you talk about what's changed for you? Because you are reaching people now. You are starting to sell things and do taster sessions where you weren't doing that before. What do you get has changed the most for you?
First of all, my point of view about money. That's the biggest step. yeah, it's wanting to sell, wanting to create change in consciousness through the access bars, because that's the thing I how do you
That's
say?
what that's your business. That's what you're creating a business around, right?
Yeah.
The bars, yeah.
And what's really changed also is to step up each time.
Yeah.
No, it's not that simple. It's not that easy most of the time, because the last days and even some hours ago, I was at a place I didn't want to be. All the projections and expectations and making something significant. And then I heard you say, do it bad, do it wrong.
Do it wrong, do it bad, do it anyway.
And then I just
Yeah.
took took the phone and called and the first person, oh no, blah blah blah, and oh no, and then the second was okay, fine, and then and then I got a new energy. So it's stepping up. And the thing is, it's just because the mastermind, there are other people in the group, in the program, and they have, like you are used to have a business. And
I've had a lot of years now just creating and going through that uncomfort, all of the, yeah. And
also what the others and you have achieved already, and talking about it, I started like this, but I have this template. And it's so the other Lene, who's also in the group, she said, do you acknowledge what you just created for yourself? Do you acknowledge that you just jump in a mastermind?
And it's so funny, when you chose it, I was like, listen, just so you know, I think there's the people that are in this are like, they've been doing this for a while. So you are choosing to jump into a group of people that you're probably going to feel over your head. Is that going to work for you? And you're like, yeah.
And I had sometimes in the beginning, oh no, and they're there, and I had a hobby, and now I'm changing the hobby. But then you said something straight, like you always do. Do you want this or do you want that? Oh no, I want that. Okay. So instead of saying, telling, oh no, and they are there and I'm still here, I learned to say, I'm starting a new business.
Yes, you are. And I am so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for your strength of choosing, because it takes someone with balls to join people with balls. It takes balls to create your life. It takes balls to create your business. And then when you jump in with fellow big balled people, that takes balls too, so it just takes a lot of courage to face your own. And it takes a lot of courage to create alongside with, and be faced with the need to compare and handle it and move on anyway, or the different things that come up when you're creating. Because what's interesting about being in a container is that they come up within the container, but when you're on your own, they come up outside the container. Like I remember when I was first starting to create my business, I was very quietly but very loudly to myself comparing myself to every other certified facilitator that I admired, going, who am I? Like, I'm brand new, I don't know fuck all, who am I to just jump in and start creating as if I'm somebody? And yet that was what was required for the business to even have legs, was for me to just choose that, even though I didn't believe I deserved it. I didn't think I knew what I was doing. And so I'm seeing you do and choose the same thing. And you didn't have to. I mean, I can't tell you how many programs I've paid for and not really done much with, but you've used this to like stimulate you over and over and over, and show back up and show back up. Like, what are some of the things for somebody that's like where you were, which is like not yet started? What are some of the things that you know now that you didn't know then, that you could pass on?
The first thing that comes in mind is you just find your group. Because the thing is, I did it. I was always on by myself. Okay, I could have joined other business programs, but they're not the one that.
They didn't do the thing. They were like, yeah,
No, and
yeah.
it's also it's access. It's a
Yeah.
whole different way of looking at business,
Yeah.
and that's really something that's coming, and it's just creates for me a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's you, because you are straight, and I love straight. And sometimes it's intense straight, but it's the kind of straightness that is a contribution to me to step up, step up, step up.
Yeah.
And for all those out there who are willing to choose something totally different and want to step up, you as a facilitator and you as your programs are gonna be a really contribution. So it's not for everybody, but
Yeah.
that's just acknowledging I got out of it, and thanks to Lene also, yes, I can create a lot just to even those the investment for the mastermind that in 3 days, okay, it was intense and much work, but I did it, and just because of that creation, I could look at myself and see, okay, but I never looked at myself that way, that I could create something. I have to have time, I have to have space, don't have to have pressure. And this was pressure and not, it was just
Pressure, no space, no time. Okay, now go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and also like the container's pretty short, like 3 months. And I know you set for yourself certain targets, or you wanted to create things. And I know also it hasn't shown up the way that you think. And what is it that you get all of that has created for you in your business? Like, how is that for you?
the
That
thing
was kind of, that was a lot. I asked a lot of things in one question. So there's a lot of energy. You can pick one.
yes, I had a target.
Yeah.
A big one. And yeah, what is in the name? A big one. And I noticed I'm still I just want to create a target. But now today I realized that I have to get it, that I'm making that so significant.
Yeah.
That it's getting me stuck also.
Right. Yeah.
So but the thing I got out of this program is so much, is that indeed, how does it work for me? What all just the calls and see how Lene and Janine are doing it, how they have a business, but they are still at the same thing. Okay, I want to expand myself. I have to expose myself. That's not easy. I have so they're at the same level. They're different.
It's like what's showing up down here is, or whatever, what's showing up in physical reality is different, but in reality, like to stimulate new growth, the same stuff is required. It's like, even for me, like I've been in business now, doing this particular business for like 6 or 7 years, but we moved to a new country and I'm stimulating a new on the ground business. And it's the same stuff required as when I first became a bars facilitator. It's running people's bars so they know what it is. It's exposing them to it. It's doing intro classes that I never even had done before. I'm in Access for like 10 years. I've never done an intro to bars. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well, I'm going to go to the Ning. I'm going to print out the manual. There is a manual. I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to trust myself because I know what bars is and I know what people are, and I can do this. So I have to still have those conversations with myself, with new people and new things. And so, yeah, at every level, same stuff. Which I think is kind of comforting is probably the wrong word, but clear. It's clear. It's like, okay, I want something different. What can I choose? Well, if I want something different, I got to do something different, choose something different, be willing to get out there and fail, which we kind of never do, but then you know, whatever I've decided fail is, and then something new shows up.
Yeah, and also the thing of how to create a package, like I have
Right.
bars, how to create a package, how to create a graphic. It's not that you teached me, but I looked a lot. Oh, you do this, you do that. I have been looking differently at emails, at offers of you and Lene. How do you it's changed a lot. So many things are I'm paying attention to so much more than I was aware of before. Yeah, and also the money stuff really changed. Some weeks ago I was at a conference, and there was a man who wanted to make a festival of a lot of people, and I was the person who asked him, what about the money? What about the tickets? Do you have a financial overview? I heard myself asking him. I thought, my God, you changed.
You've changed. And you guys, if you guys are watching, this is your invitation to like the 1 month version of this. But if you're interested in the mastermind, just reach out. But I guess what I want to say is, like, one of the things that really changed is we started with, what's the clarity you require to know about what it takes to live and what you can be and choose to have that living. And I think, so was that different? Was that something you hadn't really chosen before? Like,
you several months before you offered it in the money membership.
Yeah.
And I heard Simone Melassis talk about it in her videos. You know, it's really important. You
gotta get clear.
Really
you gotta
important.
do this.
If you want to start there, you have to know what's coming in, what's going out, what do you require, and up till then, and still a little bit now, is I'm living in the moment. Okay, I have money, I do this and that. Okay, I don't have money. Okay, but now I'm creative. Okay, I want this. Okay, what can I create? What can I offer?
What can I offer? What can I put together? Yeah, exactly. Because here's another piece I think is interesting, is you're not a bars facilitator yet. You're actually a bars practitioner, which so many people, I see so many people go, well, I'm only this. No. You have access to one of the things on the planet that people need, if you're willing to know that and you're willing to contribute it. And there's so many different ways to build a business out of it. And now you created the money as a bars practitioner and other things that you do to become a bars facilitator so you can teach the class. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah, at some point, also with a financial overview, there was a part, like you said, okay, for instance, you want to regain your investment. What are you offering? Okay,
what can you create? What's possible?
Yeah, a bars. Okay, and how long? And how do you honey, what's your price? And
Yeah.
And then, okay, that's interesting. So for that money, you and you do the math. And then something you said about giving intros, because it was pinging. I want to do something with a group, and a bar session is not in a group. And then you say, oh, but you can give intros. You see, blah, 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 blah. Wow, tough. Wow, great. And then I asked, or is it for a facilitator? Yeah, you have to be a facilitator. What would it take to be an Access Bars facilitator? And then, okay, what would it be? And then I worked through. I have my third class finished, and I'm working for the investments. And then I will be an Access Bars facilitator, and that's thanks to this program, because before I haven't chosen it, and I wouldn't have chosen it.
I think that's really amazing, because it all got it's like the program stimulated it, but it was you looking at like, what will my life be like if I actually choose this? It's like, what increases in my life with this choice? What increases? And so I just keep seeing those choices you're making and how they're changing you. Like they're like almost really exposing you as the strong, creative, forward-moving person that you are, and hadn't even really allowed yourself to choose. And so I'm just think it's so cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else is there that you're aware of that people, what do I want to ask about this? What else do you know now that you didn't know when you first started this particular leg of your journey?
That I'm capable, that I can do this, and that it really takes choice. And I'm also a lot of aware of energy. There also is a movement in just following the energy of things, because you, in the beginning, in the launching of your program, you gave some meditations about Thrival, about
It was a daily energy pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you said also from what would it take to be the energy so it can show up in totality. And I know the question from some years ago, but now I'm really asking it, what would it take to be the energy? What is the energy? And the sense, the energetic feeling, like you said. So I'm also I'm more aware of the energy of things, and what is a match, and how can I change my life. I made a demand. I'm going to create something else. I'm fishing in a pond and it doesn't work anymore. Several years. And now I'm willing to go to another pond, and it takes courage, it takes questions, it takes actions. So it's the willingness. It's being aware that I'm willing to do and be so much more than I ever thought I was willing to. Yeah. If you can still follow me.
Yeah. So were you comfortable?
I'm red. No.
I only bring that up because like I talk to so many people, and I know we've all talked about it, you know, how when you need things to be comfortable, it doesn't move, but you were like, my life's got to change. And I've just watched you like be willing to face the uncomfort of so many different things. So you actually haven't been comfortable.
No, I'm even looking at Calendly, the online agenda.
Yeah.
And I got stuck because I'm making something very significant. But I'm willing to change. I'm willing to put more technology in it, where before I was not wanting to have a lot of technology. But I'm acknowledging that if I want to fish in another pond, and there are a lot of people living with technology, then I have to choose it also. So I'm willing to change a lot. And just those 3 months, it's amazing how you can change in a few weeks if you're willing.
If you're willing, yeah. And that's what I saw you do. You had a big enough demand in your world that you just kept going. You kept showing up, you keep showing up, and you just keep going, and you allow and so I think this is the key. It's like allowing every uncomfortable moment to be there and handle it and ask questions about it if you need to and cry if you need to, but then get back up, because it's like, it's this massive facilitation, you know, growing a business or choosing a greater life, even though you don't know what it looks like, is this massive facilitation of everything you'd been telling yourself that you can't do, or is too hard, or you don't want to face, or, you know. And it's in the beginning, I noticed it's a lot of just kind of breaking through that concrete of all the stuff we've done to ourselves all these years that now can fall away. And I watch you are discovering you and like, oh, I can do this. This can work. That doesn't work. I don't relate. But all that discovery is coming through you being willing to get in the game. Like you've gone out and you've talked to people, like what was our creative challenge in the beginning of like stimulating things?
One head a day for 30 days.
30 heads in 30 days. Yeah. Yeah. So what did you do with that? How did you play with that?
I played with, it was very intense to even start to ask friends and family, because the bars, how do you explain the bars? And then I wanted to do it right, because if I don't do it right and explain it right, then they are not willing. And then, touch on the head. And then you said, you know, don't say too much, because people are always, they just have to experience it. And the best example is my mother.
Okay.
You know, but if you don't have anyone for the day, pick me. But and then there was a day and somebody canceled or didn't show up, because also if people are getting free stuff, they're not so committed. Even me can happen. But there was a person not showing up, and then I came here for the class and some hours before, and I said, you know, I don't have anyone for today. Mama, you know, you can pick me. Okay. And so I give her the bars, a taster, and she, I'm gonna lay down much more time now. She was, wow. And then another day, someone canceled again. Are you willing to receive another one? And she did. And last time, some weeks ago, a friend of hers was here. And I said, you know, I'm giving sessions. You want some? Just to try. And she was looking, and my mother, it's very relaxing.
Your mom's like on board.
And it's now she's, wow, you know, it's very relaxing. So it changes people. And from all the people I had under my hands, the main thing is always relaxation, but the uniqueness of everybody, their own experiences, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I'm so thankful that I'm going out, because now in my town, there are facilitators. There are people who are giving private sessions and sometimes even bars classes.
Yeah.
But from all the people I've talked to and reached out to, there were 3, I guess, that heard about it, 2 that received already, and all the rest didn't know about it. And I'm
so
really
many people that don't know.
Yeah. So it's something for me. I chose to be the person in my town that is just going to doctors and centers and people and therapists, and hey, you know, I do something great. I find it very special. Do you want some to explore? And sometimes it's what did I say? I just pushed him away, and next time I'm all different, and people are coming and receiving. And
so it seems like that your persistence in the target, which was the 30 heads in 30 days creative, it was just a creative challenge. It's like, hey, just invite yourself to this, make this your thing, just keep choosing this. is it true when I say that it seems like just choosing that repeatedly is the thing that really started to build strength? Because you did get a variety of responses, right?
Yeah. And after my family and friends, there were the entrepreneurs. So in the beginning, was friends, and then entrepreneurs, and now I'm used to it, and now it's always stepping up and repeating, and then like you say, do it wrong, do it badly, do it anyway, and be willing to be weird, because that is also a point of view of mine, that a lot of people find me weird, and it's not always pleasant to be weird.
It's an interesting, well, yeah. I mean, I remember when I first chose to become a talk to the entities facilitator, I'm like, there's no putting Pandora back in her box after I choose this. I talk to ghosts, I facilitate you talking to ghosts, you're welcome. I really I wrestled with that so bad, like avoided it forever, got into all kinds of conflict about it. And then, but it's turned out to be one of the greatest gifts in my life to be that and talk about it and have it and facilitate it. So it's so funny. Everything's always the opposite of what it appears to be. And our difference is actually this nutrient for us in the world that we don't know. We just don't know that it's that until we just do something crazy like this and start choosing. And then you start to discover the gift that you are. And I get you're still discovering it. I'm still discovering it, all the time. Wow. Yeah. So for you, like, is this like once the program's over, that's it? Or like, what is it that you are now really looking at having as you're living moving forward? Like, what has this stimulated for you?
I want to continue. I really would have liked that the mastermind was 6 months.
Well, we're going to start another one.
And also I have made some choices in my life recently that I stopped a revenue because I'm not I'm not an entrepreneur. So anyways, got that thing. I just really want to continue this way, or because there's so much stuff unexplored. That and I want to repeat and be the weekly calls and all, even the Telegram group where we can post something and ask something. They're a really contribution, and just I chose you because you are for this moment a really contribution. Just as weird and as the gift that you are talking about weird. Anyways, I really want to continue because somewhere there is a thought that if I stop now with having I need to say a facilitator taking me along, I don't know what I will do. I just want to choose further with a group of people to create and ask and be there for each other. So, but I have to step up big time again to even find the investment for that.
Yeah. Well, and what a gift. I mean, to me, every time I've had to, the need is different than needy. It's like that need to like, no, I need this change. Like I require this. This is the thing that's going to stimulate. Every time I've stepped up as that and allowed that to invigorate my world, everything gets greater. And so I'm always so inspired by that personally and inspired by that in other people. So, like if that's something you need, you will create it. That's it. And so I just thank you so much for being you, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. And I'm really inspired by what you're choosing with your life. I know that if you don't give up and you keep even if you kept 30 heads in 30 days as your like consistent 30-day thing, you'll have a life, your living will change. Like but you can't help it. It's like almost harder to fix. Like, is it easier what's easier? Like self-judgment or like creating your life? What would you say is more rewarding? I don't know if either one's easier because they're kind of both like they have their own uncomforts.
More rewarding is choosing my own life.
Yeah.
And even the first question, it is creating my own life easier, not comfortable. There is,
They don't go together, I guess. Comfortable and easier don't go together necessarily.
But stopping judgment, there is an energy that even stopping judgment is harder than creating my own life. Even
right, like just creating is easier. It's like, well, just leave the judgment there and just go create. Actually, you did that today. Do you want to tell that story?
I was in a place that just a few days I wake up and then my body is not fine and I felt like a failure. Like I said, I'm not an entrepreneur. I have social welfare, and that means that I can't do stuff, but I chose to do it anyway. And then I got aware that I had to put an end on an action, because if I would continue it the way I was doing it, it would have consequences. And it was not about fear, because I asked the question, is this fear or is it knowing? And it was knowing. And are you willing to create something, a consequence? No, I'm not willing. So I stopped that action. It was selling my card, because I went out, I exposed myself at the bars. But some years ago, I created some inside cards, and people were coming to me for the free tasters, and my display stands there. And there was a lady, and she said, oh, I'm a therapist. I want to work with them. Can I buy a display? Oh, displays. Yeah, I have displays. So my cards were selling also. And I was also prospecting and so the bars and too. But then I was
an entrepreneur. You've said twice you're not, but that means you are.
Yes, I am. So that's the stuff I'm in right now. I am an entrepreneur. I'm taking action and I want to go, and I don't want to stop myself. And then there's that awareness. And I said, okay, I will put it aside for the moment. I have to step up. I don't know what it is, which form, which choice, which creation, I don't know, but I have to stop it. And then I lost your question.
So just today, I mean, you got stuck and you're like, and then you chose something.
Yes, and then I was, I don't want it. And I thought we had a session. Okay, I want to choose something.
I'm like, no, we don't. We have an interview. Chop, chop.
Yes. And then I thought, and then it came back. Okay, you have I have a lot of people who had a taster, and at the beginning of September, I was aware of a creation of a package of 4 sessions, and I introduced it to them all. I called them, I mailed them, and blah, blah, blah. And it had been laying there because I was also applying for a job. So my attention is over, different ways to put my attention. And I said, the end of September is coming. So you have to pick it up again and call them back. I had a package, and are you still willing, and blah, blah, blah. And I had a conversation with Lene this week, and she said, are you willing? Would you willing to buy a package of 4? I said, no. What else? Then she said, I said, 2. Okay, why wouldn't you create a package of 2? Okay, and then today I created a package of 2. And the first person said, no, regression, blah, blah, blah. And the second said, yes. So, and of 2 people, I chose something different. I chose something that Lene just proposed. I said, yeah, why not? and just writing it down and just proposing, and then somebody said yes.
Cool. And that's entrepreneurship right there. It's like you choose to put something out and then you have a conversation and then you change it and then you sell it. And then that's there you boom, you're an entrepreneur.
Yay!
So wow, I just thank you so much. And for all of you guys watching, you know, if any of this is interesting to you, reach out to me. This is going to go on all the platforms and I'll make sure that you have links. What I'd like to have you look at is whether or not you join a program, what clarity would you need to have and gift yourself to know where you're at and where you'd like to be financially? And what game could you create for yourself to stimulate your business, whether it's on the ground or it's online? It doesn't matter how you're creating. It's like everything new, every new surge, every new growth, every new thing requires presence and engagement and action in a way that really works for you. And what's made it really easy for me is if I make it into a game. So you're invited. And Tania Maria, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for this. Thank you for you. And we'll see
Next time.
next time. See all of you guys later. Bye.